In this video, I'm going to show you how to create and modify SmartArt. Now, SmartArt is a collection of graphical lists and diagrams that you can design and modify really easily. Now, I've opened up the Disney data presentation. And if you scroll down to the last slide, I've got the steps for planning a trip to Disney World. I'm going to use the information on this slide to create a process style SmartArt graphic. Now, the first thing I need to do is insert a new slide to create the graphic on. So from my home tab, I'm going to click the new slide drop arrow and I'm going to choose blank. And then from the insert tab in the illustrations group, I'm going to choose SmartArt. Now, when the Choose a SmartArt graphic window opens, on the left-hand side, I have all the different categories of SmartArt. And then as you select a category, I'll choose Process. The middle of the screen populates with all of the subcategories that pertain to what you chose. I'm going to choose the Closed Chevron Process. Now, when you choose a subcategory, you get a picture of it on the right and a description of it at the bottom. I'm going to click OK. Now, when I clicked OK, a couple of things happened. I got my SmartArt, and I've activated the SmartArt Design contextual tab. I also have the Format contextual tab. So these both hold different tools for working with my SmartArt. Now, the first thing I need to do is populate the SmartArt with the text I want to display. So I'm just going to take the information I have on slide 6 and type it into my graphic. So I'm going to start at the end. My last step is to enjoy. And then I'll just work backwards. And notice as I'm adding data, the size of my placeholder adjusts. Now I've run out of space and I need to add about 5 more things. So I can do that by adding a shape. From my SmartArt Design tab, I've got the Add a Shape button. And if I click the drop arrow, I've got different options. So I'll do Add a Shape before. And I'm going to do that a couple of times because I need a few more shapes. And then I'm just going to click in the appropriate spot and continue adding my information. Try to type faster. And the most important step, save money. Okay, so I've entered all the text into my graphic. So now I can make it look cool. Now, from my Design tab, whatever I do on this tab is going to affect the whole SmartArt. It doesn't matter which piece of it is activated. So notice I've got my Save Money block activated. But if I click on my Layouts drop arrow and I hover, it affects the whole SmartArt. Okay, I can change the layout to whatever I want. I like my original, so I'm not going to change my layout. If I click on Change Colors, I have a whole bunch of different options for working with colors. I'm going to go with the colorful group, and I like this one. And then I've got my SmartArt styles, which allow me to add some special effects like 3D, brick scene, polished scene. So just find one you like and click it. So notice how that affected the entire graphic. Now, when I go to the Format tab, that's different. This tab pays attention to what's selected. So in this case, I have my Save Money block selected. So if I change my shape style, it's going to just affect that block. If I highlight the text in there, or I don't even have to highlight, I can just click on that block and click on the word art styles, and it affects only that block. Okay, so that's important to note. When you're working with your SmartArt, the Design tab affects the whole SmartArt, but the Format tab only affects what's selected. Let's look at another type of SmartArt. On slide 5, I've got a hierarchy chart that lays out the different levels of resorts in Disney World: deluxe, moderate, and value. So if I click on this SmartArt, I get my 2 contextual tabs, and I can work with them to add or remove features. Okay, so I'm going to change my colors. I'm going to add the brick scene. If I go to my Format tab and I choose a particular block, I'll go with the moderate, and I'll apply a word art style. Okay, so SmartArt is really easy to work with. You just have to select it and then work from the appropriate contextual tabs.